Thank you all for leaving so many likes on last week's video. Please once again hit that like button if you appreciate these exercises, and remember that sharing is caring. Okay, before we get started this week, if you are an active IELTS speaking examiner and you would like some extra paid work, please get in contact with me. You will not be asked to operate outside of your confidentiality arrangement with the IELTS. Please get in contact with me at ryan@ieltsspeakingblog.com. In this YouTube video, we are looking at a scripted Part 3 response that is on the topic of outdoor activities. And this week, we will be listening to the entire response, and then we will be carrying out a shadowing exercise that addresses one of the questions. So I will read through the questions that the candidate reported being asked. The examiner asked, "Do you like spending time outdoors? Are there any benefits to outdoor activities? What outdoor activities are popular in your country? What kind of outdoor activities were popular in the past? What type of outdoor activities will people like to do in the future?" Okay, so here is the scripted response. This is the full response that was scripted by an active IELTS examiner. And you can see at several points in the response, the candidate reflects upon bits of information that they have brought up before. There are lots of examples that are shared to help bring the response to life. So that's something else to make note of here. So we will now listen to the sample from start to finish.
We've been talking about an outdoor activity, and I would like to ask you a few more questions about this topic. Do you like spending time outdoors?
Yes, I do actually. I love biking, walking, and just dining al fresco when the weather is nice. Fortunately, in this country, the weather avails itself to all sorts of outdoor activities, from physical exercise to socializing with friends.
Are there any benefits to outdoor activities?
Of course. First of all, if you are engaging in exercise outdoors, this is good for overall health. Second of all, being out in the sun is beneficial because our bodies need vitamin D for good health. This must be done with caution, of course, but I recently read that people in this country suffer from a vitamin D deficiency, so it is in our best interest to cautiously spend time outdoors. Lastly, as we often socialize outdoors at cafes, restaurants, and even park benches, this is an important practice through which we can reduce stress levels. So, being outside is incredibly beneficial in a variety of ways.
What outdoor activities are popular in your country?
Well, I have mentioned several of them, but of course there are more, like sailing, swimming, or playing tennis. Those in the country enjoy hiking or horseback riding. Then it would be remiss of me to neglect to mention our national sport, football, which is enjoyed by all ages.
What kind of outdoor activities were popular in the past?
I think the only things that have changed are activities that have been brought to this country from abroad, like tennis. However, we have been known for our love of outdoor sports since antiquity. As far as I know, even activities associated today with the indoors, like wrestling, took place outside. Other activities like eating outdoors or sailing have also been a part of this culture for centuries.
What type of outdoor activities will people like to do in the future?
I can't imagine these activities changing a great deal, but if I had to picture some kind of science fiction scenario, I would say that perhaps people will fly for fun. One might say we already do that, but what I mean by that is just as today we might take a boat, train, or car ride for leisure, perhaps there will be flying contraptions that allow us to take a short flight over the seafront or over a nearby hill, just to get a bird's eye view of the area. I think a lot of people would enjoy something like this.
Thank you. That is the end of the speaking exam.
We are now going to do a shadowing exercise that examines this portion of the response. And you can see here that the candidate makes quick reference to items they talked about earlier. So as I was saying before we listened to the sample, this does create a good sense of cohesion. And it helps to demonstrate that the candidate is able to organize their spoken English. So we will start the shadowing exercise. So remember that you can go to www.ieltsspeakingblog.com for the full shadowing exercise, which examines the entire response. If this is your first time doing a shadowing exercise, you should actually be speaking as you listen. So you will hear the sample, and then you will be given a pause, and you are expected to repeat what you hear in the pause. Of course, remember that this is part of the learn, try, apply improvement cycle. So you should be noting things like new vocabulary or phrases that you come across, or any new approaches to pronunciation that you may want to include in your own speaking. And then the key is to review your journal regularly, and then try to incorporate this new language into your day-to-day speaking. And be sure to review how successful you are in incorporating this language, because you might need to come back and retry these exercises again. It really is an ongoing cycle of improvement. And if you do 20 minutes of this kind of training every day, I guarantee that you will see some noteworthy improvement in about a month's time. Okay, we will now start the exercise. Enjoy.
What outdoor activities are popular in your country?
Well, I have mentioned several of them, but of course there are more, like sailing, swimming, or playing tennis. I have mentioned several of them. I have mentioned sailing, swimming, or playing tennis. Or playing tennis. Or playing tennis. Sailing, swimming, or playing tennis. Well, I have mentioned several of them, but of course there are more, like sailing, swimming, or playing tennis. Well, I have mentioned several of them, but of course there are more, like sailing, swimming, or playing tennis. Those in the country enjoy hiking or horseback riding. Those in the country enjoy hiking or horseback riding. Hiking, horseback riding, enjoy hiking or horseback riding. Enjoy hiking or horseback riding. Those in the country enjoy hiking or horseback riding. Those in the country enjoy hiking or horseback riding. Then it would be remiss of me to neglect to mention our national sport, football, which is enjoyed by all ages. It would be remiss of me remiss of me to neglect to mention our national sport. Neglect to mention our national sport. National sport. National sport. To mention our national sport. To neglect to mention our national sport. Football, which is enjoyed by all ages. Football. Football, which is enjoyed by all ages. Which is enjoyed. Which is enjoyed. Which is enjoyed by all ages. Which is enjoyed by all ages. Football, which is enjoyed by all ages. Then it would be remiss of me to neglect to mention our national sport, football, which is enjoyed by all ages. Then it would be remiss of me to neglect to mention our national sport, football, which is enjoyed by all ages. I hope you found that exercise helpful. Remember to go to IELTSSpeakingblog.com to access the full lesson and to get access to the full library of shadowing exercises. Thank you very much for liking and sharing, and please join me next week for another shadowing exercise.